Welcome back to WeakT Gaming. What's up, YouTube? Today's video is taken from our Torment Tides of Numenera live streams. If you're not familiar, Torment is an isometric RPG that includes a lot of reading, so please sit back, enjoy story time, and give us a like or a comment on the video at the end. Back at it again. More reading. All the words. All right. Just trying to refresh my mind here. What are we trying to do? Yes. As you regard this girl, you are struck by a spark of recognition. Though they hardly look the same, something about her reminds you of the ghost you encountered in the Fifth Eye. Little girl still sits outside the old house, still playing the flute. She smiles as you approach. Song today, sir? Let me ask you something. All right. Said a woman named Scora used to live next door. Yes, she was an nano-sorceress, or maybe a witch. I think she got in trouble. She went away one night and never came back. You remind me of someone I met in the Fifth Eye. Her eyes narrow suspiciously. People say that to me sometimes. They think I'm one of those girls who are becoming somebody else. But I'm not. At least, not anymore. Not anymore? What do you mean? When I was younger, I used to feel like there was another person who was always nearby, just out of sight. Sometimes she'd even slip into my mind and I'd hear her voice. She glances away. I think I was supposed to become her. Her smile flashes then, and she looks back at you. But I wouldn't. Every night in my dreams we fought, and every night I won. After a while she got weaker and weaker until I couldn't hear her voice at all. Now she's gone. I've never heard from her again. You know anything more about her? No, I don't want to. I don't think we had much in common. Maybe that's why I could fight her off and the other girls can't. She shivers. I'm just glad she's gone. Alright, well, let's talk about something else. She nods. I don't like talking about that other girl. It makes me think about what might have happened if I hadn't fought her so hard. How do you feel about the Stickus? The poor thing. We're all taking care of it. The other Sticka abandoned it, so now it has no family except us. She leans in. Please don't tell anyone about it. Zeb would die if anything happened to it. Alright, well.
Don't mind if I do.
In an instant.
Ready. I'm going.
I think it's time. I think it's time to go to the underbelly. We still have a ton of side quests that we haven't completed, but it's fine.
Of course.
That guy snickered at me.
Yes.
Hello? This violet-skinned visitant paces back and forth before the cavern's opening and wears fine clothes that serve to accentuate the tall, thin crest on its head. A symbol has been painted on the crest, mirroring the insignia marked on its chest. Its clothes are finely tailored and well made. The name of the creature's race crawls into your mind. It's Vargiline. This one has temporarily chosen to be female. Her bulbous eyes flash quickly, and her surroundings around her surroundings before focusing directly on you. The council didn't send you, that much is plain. Her voice is high and fluting. You're aware that this cave isn't safe, I hope. What exactly do you want? I was just kind of wondering what you're doing here. I'm conducting a diplomatic negotiation on behalf of the city. Unfortunately, I am not dealing with a reasonable species. Her crest flutters irritably. I've made no progress at all. Days wasted in this miserable tunnel, and I have nothing to show my superiors. Maybe I can help you. She looks you up and down, considering. Doubtful. But you might have other skills I can use. The circumstances call for a new tactic, and these levies cannot do what needs to be done, nor can I. Vargelin nods. If you truly think you can help, let's put you to the test. She waves off the levies who flank her. Her gestures are short and choppy, sharp and irritated. It's these damnable stickas, she says. I speak to them, I offer, cajole, negotiate, and threaten, yet they persist in their digging, and every day another house on the cliffs above slips into the sea. If the digging does not cease, the city itself may crumble. So here's my request. Find a way into their lair, remove their precious eggs, and return them to me. These hostages shall ensure the future of the city above, and also turn a tidy profit if I could get them all. She pauses. If you can negotiate a lasting settlement that does not require such drastic measures, you may also pursue that method. But I've been trying for days, with no success.
Making a note.
Well, I think I can help. Good. We need to stop the Sticka before they bring down the entire substructure of the city. She pauses and lowers her voice. If you manage to infiltrate their lair, be sure to acquire all their eggs. I suspect they will have multiple clusters. We will need them all if we want to negotiate from a position of strength. She hands you a synth ball with a blinking device inside. Once you're in the lair, activate this. It will show you all the tunnels, the egg clusters, and the Sticka themselves. Better to know what you face before you charge ahead. Very well. Be aware that the time you spend with me is more time for the Sticka to undermine the city. Okay. You tell me about yourself? She warbles deep in her throat. I'm Pillai, an accredited agent of the slave families. I act with their full faith and authority to resolve the Sticka crisis. Looking for Matkina? The name is familiar, and pale humans are rare. One would imagine I might recall someone of that description. Alas, I do not. The White Death. What does he want with her? Well, like, you are super familiar, aren't you? She holds up her hands, only by reputation. Maybe that she found employment with the council at one time. I know no more. Alright. See you later.
Let's go.
Hey, buddy. This massive creature looms over you. A scent like lightning in an underground cavern washes over you. And it reminds you of nothing so much as curiosity. It chitters and rumbles, waving its large claws through an expressive dance. Something about these smells, sounds, and gestures seems familiar. A niggling itch in the back of your mind. At least you remember the taxonomy now. This is a Stickus, a huge, burrowing insectoid. It points to itself and says, Shiket. It follows with another stream of high-pitched noise. Can you tell me about the Sticka? It scrabbles briefly at the wall, and a bit of lightning flares about the crown of antennae on its head. Its shoulders shrug, and you smell dust. You almost have the sense of the language, the structure, the feel, the sound and scent. The itch in your mind intensifies. You can feel the memory of the Stickus language waiting to reveal itself. Alright, let's try to remember. We succeeded, yay! Your mind blurs, a memory racing up from forgotten depths. You see yourself interacting with a Stickus, the two of you patiently exchanging hand signals, a small box between the two of you translating your words and thoughts. Each time it conveys a thought or concept, the device sends a stimulus into the appropriate parts of your brain and electricity into your limbs, making you a marionette. Your muscles twitch in sympathy with these memories, and you realize that the Stickus tongue is a jumble of scent, movement, and sounds. But the memory information pours into your mind as if a plug had been removed. The smell of granite fills your nose. As you return to normal consciousness, Chiquette leans forward. Chiquette smell granite knowledge. It rumbles. Its spiracles vent a minuscule trace of gas. The Stickus looks at you, and its body posture and slight movement indicate a question. Does human speak Stickus? Your muscles remember, and you twitch the proper response. Chiquette huffs the scent of lightning. Never speak Chiquette to human so. Heard memory from elder, not believe. Human almost sentient. Imagine. Grub think like Stickus. It claps its hands together. Speak smart. Better now. What can you tell me about this place? It looks at you intently, and then its spatulate fingers begin a slow and careful dance. The sounds it makes are slow chitters that rise and fall in pitch, accompanied by the smell of ozone. Good rock, full of electricity. This our home. The word home also means tunnel or sanctuary, a layered meaning. Brought here as eggs, hatch, dig here for safety, food, good rock. It smacks the tunnel wall, and some of the rock crumbles with the force of its massive claw. Find secret place to store new eggs. Human grubs would steal or smash. What do you think of P? The Stickus seems discombobulated for a moment. Who? Then it thinks a little more. Then it sprays out a blast of pheromones, and you smell the sharp tang of acid and weakened stone. It smells like distrust. Aaliyah, fish head grub. Not good person. It leans closer. Once eggs can smell desire. It's true. But eggs in safe place, hidden. Not let thieves take eggs. Harm broodmates. You smell hardened shells, calcium and silicone baking under the Stickus, around the Stickus. The scent of determination and safety. Not let anyone harm eggs without fight. Can you tell me about the Stickus? Considers the question briefly and then emits a puff of pheromones that smells of soft rock crumbling under determined hands. It reminds you of resigned acceptance. Speak, Chiquette will answer. How did you come to be under Sega's cliffs? It shrugs. Its massive exoskeleton plates grinding. No ancient ever to tell. 4 generations only in caves. We live instinct. Only guess at legacy. Memories stolen. It growls in frustration. It pats the wall nearby. Stickus hatched from egg, yes? Yes. Traders come from evil bloom, other worlds. Think humans stole eggs. Humans brought eggs to world. Humans hatch eggs. Larval Stickus, a mystery to buyer, released here. Chiquette exhales from its spiracles. Must guess at function. Must guess at society. Maybe advanced once. Maybe great civilization. Now only dig. Dig for clues. Why are you digging here? This arm. Chiquette raises its great arm. Dig. Draw energy from rock, from friction. Eat electric charge. Store electric charge. It points to the spiky growths on its plating. Here. Rock good, hard, much electric. Best found. Other places, not good. Why are you digging underpopulated areas? The Stickus stares blankly at you, its eyes shimmering. It seems to be trying to put its thoughts into a statement you can understand. Stickum must survive, must live where food is, yes? It doesn't wait for an affirmation. Human watch every step. Avoid stepping on insects. No impact on other life. Sacrifice of others is natural order. Taps you in the chest. Smart for human. It points toward the rest of the underbelly. Not smart. Why concern? Not. It gropes for the word. Not sentient. I'd like to ask some other questions. Its talent hand flexes and closes. Ask them. I found a Stickus in Cliff's Edge. It looks at you for a long moment, almost as if it can't believe what it just heard. Is weak outcast. Not feed self, burden on broodmates, should be dead. The odor that rises from the stickus is dry and musty, the scent of an insect's corpse curled on a windowsill. It's disgusting. Weak or not, it doesn't deserve to die at the hands of a mob. Oh, yikes. Very low chance of success here. Did not succeed.
I'll remember that.
No, some life is drained. Parasite. Contribute nothing. If stick a save outcast, will starve and die anyway. It pauses. Human kill outcast, useful for all. Will reward. Wow. Wow. Dig under the city, right? Can you take me someplace? Maybe take Stick of Smutters, though its scent indicates reluctance and caution. Must pay 10 shins. What do Sticka use shins for? Humans sell Numenera. Call self Makrela. Trade shins and other Numeneras to Sticka. Sticka trade shins for Numenera. Good for dig. Melt into walls and tunnels. Make stronger. That why shins. Interesting. I've come to ask you to stop digging underneath the city. Why? Where we go, give reason to stop. Let's try persuasion. Oh, yikes. Not a chance. You can move deeper beneath the city. Have been. Rock not good. Soft, not efficient. Electric, not strong. Leans back. What else? Humans above our suffering. When humans dig, they care for us? No. Why we care for them? You know, it's making great points here. We'll give you a tribute. Stickus leans forward, interested, and the scent of sparks rise. Why they not offer before? This good. What else? Okay, we got a better chance now. Hey! We told it we would go to war. It considers your words for a time, and the scents that surround it vary from the frightening to the mundane. At last, the smell of synth and strong glass waft past your nose, and Shket says, "Human give good reason." Yes, Sticka comply.
Making a note.
It scratches the wall and drums a pattern there. Sticka move deeper, burrow to lesser rock, starve for human's sake. Not fight with humans is better. Hey, it was real easy. Hope you have news for me. I have news about the Sticka. Good news, I trust. I've handled negotiations with the Sticka. She lifts one foot to begin pacing, to start considering her options, and she stops. She slowly turns towards you, each eye rotating separately. She lowers her foot and turns to face you squarely and bites off each word. What did you do? Convince Chiquette that digging deeper would be a benefit to both the Sticka and the humans. There's no need to steal their eggs. You left their eggs with them. How will we enforce their exile without that leverage? She smooths her crest and blinks her eyes slowly. Fine. We can work with this for now. We have time to engineer another solution.
Making a note.
She stops, a thought striking her. Did you promise them anything else? Yes. Yes, I did. She presses a slightly trembling hand to her head. I wish you hadn't done that, but perhaps it was the only way to achieve optimal results. She considers. Very well. You have achieved your objective. Here is your payment. That person has no head. There's a headless person. Oh, he's listed as the headless man. We must talk to him. He is incapable of speech, as he has no head. The meatmonger. A short, solid man stands behind a smoking grill, turning pieces of meat with a pair of grimy tongs. Sweat is pouring down his grizzled face, yet he's covered head to toe in grease-spattered clothes. His sleeves are tight at the wrists, and his collar pinches his neck. Nearby are 3 large vats that are filled with living meat, great amorphous masses of it, with appendages growing from them like the limbs of animals drowning in a meat swamp. The first vat is filled with thick, throbbing muscles, red and raw. The second is a flapping monstrosity of leathery wings, and the third sprouts hundreds of lactails, all wiggling obscenely. The cook looks up from his work and gives you a sweaty smile. Hey ho, I'm Wuck, the meatmonger. What do you have? So, like, what kind of meat do you sell? He laughs and bangs the grill with his tongs, making sizzling grease fly. 3 kinds, friend. Anine, Drabel, and Lac. Right in those vats, actually. Want some? I've never seen meat grown in a vat before. How? He shrugs. Couldn't tell you. Found a little doodad back when I was a butcher, and I'd fiddle with it all day long, kind of like how I do now with my tongs. He waves the tongs around to show you what he means. So one day I was fiddling with this thing while cutting up a carcass, and it kept growing back its missing parts. Cut the tail off, and there it was again a moment later. Crazy, right? But it gave me an idea. I could open a little grill with no overhead, and it worked. Been cooking the same 3 hunks of flesh for years now. It beams. Can you use your doodad on yourself? Funny you should ask. Not long after I found it, I cut myself pretty good. Thought I'd try using my doodad to close up the wound. He grimaces. Well, it worked, but then I started growing toes all over my body. Didn't care for that at all, so I never did it again. Still trying to get rid of the toes. So you have toes growing all over your body? Hey, we all got our problems, and I got it better than most around here. Ain't my fault anyway. Well, I guess it's a little bit my fault. I'm looking for Matt Keena. He nods. Know her well. Buys from me all the time. Haven't seen her in a while, though. You might ask Mapper over there by the shanties. He'll be the one with the maps on his skin. Keeps track of everybody. Quite a cast of characters down here in the underbelly. I guess I'd like to buy some meat. Sure. What would you like? Anine shank? Drabel wing? Lactail? Let's try some shank. That'll be 2 shins. Yeah, I'll pay him 2 shins. Yuck nods, saunters over to the vat of red, throbbing muscles and carves off a slice. He spears the meat with a sharpened bone skewer and slaps it onto his grill, sprinkling it with a flurry of spices. When the meat is cooked, he hands you the skewer, and you take a bite. The meat is gammy and a little tough, but the spices are so intense that you hardly notice. Lots of folks eat that 3 times a day, Yuck winks. Wish more of them would give my Drabel wings a try, but it's their loss, eh?
My studies have borne fruit.
Take another bite of the anine meat, trying to get a sense of the flavor that lies beneath the heavy spice. Its taste summons a welter of memories. You've eaten anine flesh before, perhaps many times. It evokes a vague sense of desperation, of a vast ruined landscape, detonations erupting around you, scavenging the bodies of fallen beasts for food. You realize that it isn't one memory, but many, many lifetimes, perhaps in a hellscape of war. The memories fade. Alright, I'm getting out of here. Catch you later, bro.
Why not?
Oh, some paranoid people. How's it going? You know, too, don't you? You smell the corruption? Yes, the jagged dream is down here, too. Cool, good talk. Dude, what are these eyes? What's happening on this building? Mapper. From a distance, it looks as if this mutant is wearing a form-fitting suit to finely patterned lines in white, yellow, and pale blue. On closer examination, it becomes apparent that these are tattoos, and they cover nearly the entirety of his body, even his shaved head. His actual clothes are simple and worn, and his boots look as though they've seen hard use. He is studying the meaningless swirls and whirls on his arm, and mouthing names that mean nothing to you. Solvi, Ballant, Urgau, Tintries. When he looks up at you, you see that a strange device covers one of his eyes. A deep blue light shines in its center, and it seems to measure and evaluate you as he focuses on you. He smiles as you approach, a broad, beaming grin that says he considers you a friend already. I'm Mapper, he says, extending his hand. A new face. New faces mean new places. I've been everywhere around here. I've found my way into places long sealed and best forgotten. Met all sorts of people. He frowns. Can't say I cared much for some of them. It's true. His voice is fast, insistent, and incisive. Still, I try. The communities of our world are islands with light. Sometimes they wink out, and sometimes they flare up. I want to link them together. I want to be a bridge. Wow, that's super interesting. Can you tell me about this other person I want to find? Matkina, the White Death? I've heard of her. I know where she hides, too. He grins wide, exposing a mouthful of extraordinarily white and clean teeth. I can tell you where she is, but I hate to say it comes with a price. Much as I love to talk about my travels, I need to finish a patch of my Segas Cliffs map, and I need bragging rights for the next time I see the navigators. He shrugs. Also, she might not be that happy I've told. But I might be able to help you find it for a trade, of course. He drops his voice. Have you ever heard of the Changing God, savior of Segas Cliffs in times past, and so forth? They say he had a sanctuary under the city, a place he used to retreat and plan for the future while he thought on his past. You know, making possibility maps. That sanctuary is the one important place I haven't seen in Segas Cliffs, and I need it to fill in my map. As far as I can tell, it's not far past the Stika layer. The problem I'm having is that I just can't make any sense of their language. Maybe you can talk to them. He shrugs disarmingly. It's a hell of a price, I know, but there it is. You want to find Matkina? You'll find the sanctuary for me. Okay. Okay. Alright, well, I guess I'll be back. Hey, what's going on over here, guys? Folsom, this man towers over you, enormously fat and draped in gaudy robes. His expression is calm, stern even, as he regards the bloody mess spread across the floor and wall. The hooded figures on either side of him tense as you approach. He turns to inspect you, eyebrow lifted, and raises his hand. His bodyguards relax, watching you. In the space of a second, his eyes flick over you. He nods, apparently to himself, as if your presence has confirmed something he expected. One of the cast-off godlings. That explains the missing pieces. What are you doing in the underbelly, falling star? Oh, hey, how do you know who I am? An odd question, he says, frowning. You fell from the sky like a comet and somehow survived. My people have been watching you since you set foot on the beach. He cocks his head. Now that I've answered your question, answer mine. What are you doing down here? Looking for someone. Are you? He says. I know everyone in the underbelly, and I am seeking someone as well. Perhaps we can help each other.
Making a note.
Turns his back on you, staring down at the vast pool of blood. This is all that remains of Weedle, one of my protégés. I had hopes for him. Now they will never be realized. The underbelly is poor without him. The rage beneath his voice cuts each word shorter and shorter. Bring me any information you find. Help me discover the identity of his killer. You will be rewarded. He exhales sharply, then turns around. The fury you glimpsed in him is buried once more.
Remember that.
There is an assassin named Matkina, he says. She is known as the White Death. I have helped her find work in the past, but she has become erratic. If she is not involved, then she might know who is. If you wish to help in this matter, ask her what she knows. The creature named Mapper may know where she is. Yeah, you know, okay, sure. I will observe your investigation with great interest. Folsom seems like a strange name for you. Yes, the big man says, the name was a gift, and somewhat of a witticism, from my departed mentor many years ago. Before long, the name was the only one I was known by. A true gift in light of the unfortunate nature of my given name. Do you live in the underbelly? Not quite. He smiles like he's paying for it by the millimeter. I rarely sleep, so I need no bed of my own. but I've spent most of my life in these tunnels and grottos. It is a good place, cruel and unforgiving, but good. His slow gaze sweeps over the underbelly. Segus foolishly sends its undesirables here, as if it is worthless. But the underbelly is a place of hidden treasures, wise machines, and kind mutants. If I had a home here, I would not regret it. Have any ideas about the killer's motive? I have suspicions, he says, a muscle on his cheek twitching. Wow, can't read today. And I have enemies. It takes no imagination to conclude that this was meant to hurt me. He shakes his head. But the killer did not slit Weedle's throat and leave him for me to find. No, they spilled an ocean of his blood and scrawled nonsense on the walls. If this is a message for me, I cannot interpret it. It suggests the killer is crazy, but which of my enemies are insane? Okay, well, I'm going to want to examine that murder scene. At first, Folsom doesn't respond. He merely stares down at you, through you. Will not have you trample through his blood without cause, he says, at last. So there had better be one. I don't need your help that badly, Godling. Want my help? You'll let me pass. Yeah, let's go with that one. Then perhaps I will do without your help, he growls, straightening. The hooded figures behind him straighten as well, their glittering eyes on you. Is your assistance such a gift? Shall I tell Weedle's mother that I allowed a stranger to track her son's blood across the underbelly? His voice has risen to within a hair of shouting. Give me a reason, Godling, and make it a good one. Just trying to help here, bro. He clears his throat. I understand. He nods. My apologies. This is a difficult time. Let him pass when he is ready, he tells the hooded figures at his side. They incline their heads. Right. Weirdo.
I'm going.
Not much remains of Folsom's former protege beyond a vast, still pool of blood with a skinned hand at its center. Bloody circle is scrawled on the wall nearby. Let's start with the circle. Your hand reaches toward the streaks and bubbles of blood on its own accord, and an iron spike drives through your temples. You stand before a blank wall. Sickening purple-black light spills around the corner behind you. This is your temple, and you have been driven into a dead end by her. Blood seeps through the wall from the other side, drawing the familiar shape. Frightened, confused, you trace the line, and a gate opens with a wet crunch. A vision collapses, but the memories are not done with you yet, it seems. Another bulges painfully through your thoughts, closing around you. Yeah, let's do another memory, huh? Fresh blood streams over the circle, yanking you through the hollow at its center into the world beyond. A strip of blistered land coils through a void as black as a gaping mouth. The air is thick, foul, and textured with the slickness of maggots. Nausea slams into you, filling your head, infecting your thoughts. And through it all, you sense a mind in that fathomless darkness, spilling towards yours, seeking, tasting, joyful, hungry. You shove the horrific memory away from you, slamming your mind shut like a door and swallowing the knot of nausea in your throat. After seeing that world, the bloody pool at your feet seems almost mundane. Alright, well, let's inspect the hand then. A flayed hand with a long, slender fingers lies palm up in the center of the pool of blood. The rest of the victim is missing.
I'll remember that.
You step away. Okay, I guess so we're done here.
All right.
Yeah, we're done here.
We shall see.
All right, well, I'll let you know. Varanoth. This large and heavily muscled woman wears what appear to be rags that should have fallen apart ages ago. She looks so tired that it wouldn't be a surprise if she fell asleep on her feet. And yet, When she opens her mouth, her voice is energetic, like a little girl who's about to get a present. Hello? Can anyone hear what I'm saying? Ah, I can't make this work. Without warning, she slaps herself. I hope no one saw that. Oddly, no thoughts at all come from this woman. At least you think she has none. There's a faint whispering at the edge of your hearing, but you can't make out any words. Who are you? Are you talking to me? Her head swivels awkwardly around, trying to catch a glimpse of you. Oh, you are. My name is Veranoth, Champion of the Wastes. The woman flinches at the sound of the very different, booming voice that came from her own mouth. It's not my name, you stupid thing. It's Veranoth, Champion of the Wastes. Damn. I come from a land you've never heard of. Damn it. Guess I'm not allowed to say. So you aren't Veranoth, Champion of the Wastes? I'm not. But you might as well call me that, or just Veranoth. One shoulder shrugs and keeps shrugging. I'm not actually here, I'm just talking through her, trying to move her around. Her shoulder freezes mid-shrug. It keeps yelling over me if I talk about something I'm not supposed to, she says, lowering her voice. But maybe if I speak carefully. Her chin drops to her chest. My family explores the world using special tools. Body stabs itself with its finger pointedly. But they tell me I'm too young to help, so I waited until everyone was sleeping and, you know, the head lolls back on its neck, winking at the roof of the cavern. Are you an explorer too? Yeah, but not like you. Oh, she says. For some reason I thought you were a champion of the wastes too. Damn, did it again, didn't it? Just don't tell anyone what I am, alright? What can that construct do? Well, it's really hard to break. My mother, that's who usually controls it, once got stepped on by an adult earthshaker. It just stuck her in the ground like a nail. The woman flexes a massive bicep. Am I flexing? The girl says. I'm trying to flex. Anyway, it's also incredibly strong. Punch holes in the mountains strong. The arm flops back to her hip. And it's not really a construct. There's no metal inside. Just blood, bones, perfect human expressions. Not that you can tell that from how I do it, the girl adds sourly. The woman's face grimaces along with her. Where did you get the construct? I was born in a storm on a battlefield at night, the woman roars. Huh, the girl says after a respectful silence. Really doesn't want me to tell you what I just tried to tell you. Did you tell me anything about where you got this construct? Seeds, the girl blurts. Oh, she let me say it. But I probably won't get away with more, sorry. Why do your people explore? Our impenetrable fortress in a lost valley is falling apart. I think we should just go out into the world for real, but no, my family is afraid. Fingers on the woman's right hand wiggle like they're playing an instrument. Her dead expression doesn't change even as the girl's voice rises. I'm not, of course, but they won't even let me use this thing. I have to sneak around like a child. Alright, well, catch you later. A flight of stone steps descends into the water. The cavern beyond gradually widens and connects to the sea. That's interesting. Is this thing fishing? This thin, glowing thread pierces the surface of the water and plunges deep into the black depths, like a white line drawn in shining ink. Examine the line. You try flicking the shining string and your finger goes right through it. Could you try catching something for me? I've had no luck today. Besides, everything down there is pretty much stronger than me. Sure, I'll try catching something for you, Crooked Keek. You pull on the line and something in the dark below pulls back. You press your lips together and reel in your catch. A muddy cipher dangles from the end of the line. It's beautiful, Crooked Keek breathes. I was just hoping for a fish. I can sell it and eat for weeks. Yeah, sure, you can have it. Pass the cipher to her and she squinches her eyes shut in unmitigated joy. Thank you. Use my fishing pole whenever you want. Well, let's tug on the line again. Take hold of the fishing rod and begin reeling in the line. But nothing is on the hook. You might have better luck tomorrow. Alright. Let's talk to Crooked Geek. Small, hollow-cheeked mutant sings a soft, wavering tune to herself. Yellow bruises discolor her skin, wounds formed not from violence, but from malnutrition, and her prominent bones bend and twist at odd angles. Still, she smiles. She smiles at the oily water, devoid of any fish. She smiles as she arranges her empty basket beside her, and she smiles at you when she sees you standing over her. Hello again. I didn't introduce myself before. I'm Crooked Geek of the Cold Canyon Tribe. She coughs into her cupped hands, a raw and ragged hacking that bends her double. You take her for a child at first, but after studying her features, it's clear she's in her late teens. It's only some mutation, and her bony stature born of starvation, that makes her seem childlike. Part of the Cold Canyon Tribe? Is that down here? No, she says lightly. They're all gone, either dead or gone. She still isn't meeting your eyes. There used to be a lot of us. We came here when I was a baby, running from... She pauses, thinking. A war. Some sort of war that never ends. My parents thought we would be safe here, but the tribe died off, one by one. She turns away, wiping her eyes. This city is hard on people like us. How exactly? They were used to living in the wilderness, so they knew what they could eat safely. Here, it's not so simple. My mother told me that 10 people died eating tainted food before we found this fishing hole. She stares into the murky water. Then there's the diseases you can catch in the city, and the hate. A lot of us were killed just for being hard to look at, I guess. Is it as hard for you to survive here as it was for your people? No, she says, smiling. I don't have a lot to eat, but I'm more resistant to sickness than my parents were, and people here know me. They leave me alone. Everybody in your tribe is dead? Not everyone, she says, with a brave little smile. I'm here. Some of us just left for better places. I bet they're doing really well. Well, cool. Do you know about this other person named Matkina? Matkina, she gasps. That's not what people call her. She leans towards you, eyes as round as coins. They call her the White Death, she says. She's an assassin. I don't know where she is, and I hope I never do. Why are you scared of Matkina? They say, she begins, then drops her voice to a whisper. They say she can freeze your blood by speaking your name, and if you look in her in the eyes, all of your hair will turn white. Do you believe those stories? She blushes. Man, I really can't talk today. No, she says, but she is a killer, and she bites her lip. I have a soft spot for scary stories. So, like, your real name is Crooked Geek? Sort of. My parents called me Keek, but the nickname came later. She hunches over, her eyes darting shadily from side to side. It's because I sell junk for high prices and bribe the levies to carry people off in the night. She laughs. No, not really. People call me Crooked because I look twisted and broken. I wish they wouldn't, but it's okay. I am crooked, right? Why do you think fish aren't biting? Fish down there are pretty fast and smart. They're nibbling at the bait, then swimming away. She watches the line with a combination of hunger and weariness. It's hard for me to get to the pole in time when the rod twitches, and harder to reel in the catch. I'm not very strong. Alright, cool. Well, good spot to end this conversation. See you later. Monte. This lissom Jack looks down on his luck, judging from his bare feet and dusty jerkin, but he takes in his surroundings with a hopeful gaze. As you approach, he smiles and throws out his arms in greeting, which reveals the tools of his trade on his belt. How now, helpmeet? Got any... He stops as he sees Tiber with you. Tiber, he bellows. Good to see you. Last I heard, you and Riss were running from the levies. Slipped him again, eh? This your new crew, looking for an in-and-out man? I'm free at the moment, and ready and able to do some crimes. 2 old friends. They gotta have some work for me. Manth, my boy, always joking, he says through gritted teeth. This is Tiber speaking, and so loudly. He puts an arm around the young man's neck and snugs on him in, a little too tight. Someday someone's going to hear one of your loud jokes and call the watch on you. And me. And no, this is not my new crew. This is my friend, who I'm helping find his way around the pitfalls of our great city. Tiber turns to you. Manth is actually the most honest boy in Sega's Cliffs, aren't you, Manth? Manth swallows. Why, yes, I am. I don't come much honester than Manth, Pa. I pretty much just sit around all day thinking of ways I could be more honest. Oh, that Tood fellow isn't the guy I knew. What am I gonna learn? Tiber's meaty palm covers Manth's mouth. That's fine, lad. That's fine. He smiles at you. You know, Manth has the most dangerous job in Sega's Cliffs. He's a window washer. Hangs out over the sea faces of those cliff houses and scrubs away without a care. And if that weren't enough, when he's not working, he's down here in the underbelly helping people find their way around. Go on, just ask him. He knows everything about the place. That's right, says Manth as Tiber lifts his hand. Ask me anything. You want to hear about the people who live here, or maybe the Sticka tunnels, or the manufactory, or those crazy Dendro her bastards? Yeah, let's hear your general take here, Manth. He shrugs. It's the bottom of the ladder. As they say around here, there ain't no more down to go. But that's a good thing, right? Means you got nowhere to go but up. Passing thought dims his cheery expression. Unless you drown or get swallowed by the bloom or something. Cool. Tell me about the people here. He blows out his cheeks. Well, I won't talk about everyone. There's a lot of us here. But I'll hit the highlights. Or lowlights, I guess. He starts to count them off on his fingers. There's Folsom, of course. He runs things around here. Not officially, mind you. He's just the sharpest Shigan with the hardest crew, is all. Michelle, who sells bits and bobs at her stall. Wuck, the meatmonger, who sells, meat. Pats his chest. Tell him Wuck I sent you if you pay him a visit. He gives me a shin for each referral. Let's see. There's Allergern, the Aeon priest, who isn't anymore, but still knows his stuff. Mapper, crazy Carker who's covered in maps, and pauses, thinking. And while I suppose there's Crooked Keek, she's not very interesting, but she looks funny, if that's your float. Spreads his hands. That's all that's worth mentioning. What do you know about the Sticka tunnels? They've dug them all over the place around here. You only see the ends of them, since they fill them with the loose dirt that only they can dig through. What about the manufacturing? Heart of industry in Sega's Cliffs. People think only the crazy and the crooked live down here in the underbelly, but if you want to see the hardest working people in the city, go look in at those furnaces. That's real work, that is. Poor Seps, what's the point of honest work if it doesn't get you out of this hole? Let's talk about the Dendro her. The cannibals. Sometimes I think they do it just so they can be crazier than anybody else. I know they got some kind of mumbo-jumbo reason for eating dead folks, but I think they just like making people squirm, you know? Do you know anything about the murder of Folsom's protege? Now, that is some spooky effluvium? And no mistake, circle of blood on the wall, but all they found of the Vic was a skinless hand. Happened in that alcove on the other side of this structure, if you want to see it. No, I've seen it. Do you know where I can find Matt Kina? The White Death? He whistles. You ain't crazy, are you? Lifts his hand placatingly. Sorry, none of my business. Couldn't tell you where she is, but you might want to talk to Mapper. He's squatting in one of the shanties down here. If there's any place she can hide, he'd know about it. Alright, catch you later, boy. Are you ready to level up? Dimensional power. While phase gain +2 damage. Esoteric knowledge. All other party members gain. Oh, I like that. Choose abilities learn. Entropic field. Flash. trash. Datasphere. Let's do Datasphere for sure. Entropic field sounds interesting. Oh, we're very close to leveling up, huh? 74 out of 80. 179 out of 180. He's already tier 2? She's tier 2. I'm tier 1. Alright. Alright, alright, alright.
All right. I'm ready.
That goes back up top. Oh, Al's down here. Let's talk to Al. Let's see what Al's up to.
I've already told you, I want nothing to do with this Carradine. But you bring her to my door, ditch her someplace, and then maybe we can talk.
And his thoughts are, it's encouraging to note I don't miss her at all. Alright, Allergan. Very grumpy boy. This has been a WeakT Gaming video. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, punch the little notification bell, maybe give us a like or a comment, and you know what? You have a nice day.